And welcome, President Anthony Wells addressing the membership.
Good afternoon. I'm Anthony Wells, President of the Social Service Employees Union of 371. I come to share some information with you and to give you an idea of what's going on and an update. So as we continue to deal with the surge and the scourge of COVID-19, the uncertainty of what the future will look like after November 3rd, the continued racist and unjust society that we deal with every day, now we have to deal with something else. And that's the scourge of potential layoffs. People have called and said they're angry, they're afraid, they don't know what's going to happen. And I say to them, you're justified in being angry. And you're justified in being afraid. We have worked throughout this scourge, this epidemic, this pandemic, providing vital services to the citizens of New York. Whether first responders, essential workers, or workers just going about making sure that the people that we serve have access to the services that they need. We've done this at great risk. We've done this at the price of our families, our very mental health in many cases. And now to be faced with the possibility of 22,000 brothers and sisters in the union movement, city workers, being laid off because elected officials and others can't see their way to find a solution that doesn't harm our members and our families. But we're going to fight back. The history of this local is to fight back. It's to advocate. We've been so fortunate that we haven't had layoffs in the last 9 to 10 years. And a lot of that is due to the efforts of this union to advocate on behalf of our members. Also due to a change and a shift in government policy that recognizes the importance of social services. The importance of social services in many people's lives. Not just welfare recipients or children and adults being protected. Not just for people who are incarcerated and youth who are institutionalized, but everyday people who are just struggling to make ends meet, who are struggling to provide for their families. We provide these services. And all city workers have provided the services. New York may have shut down, but it was not down. And now to be faced with the thought, the threat, the plan of losing your job is unconscionable to me. So yes, I understand your anger and your frustration, just as I understand the anger and the outrage at black men and black women and people of color being shot unarmed by the very people who are hired to protect us. It all cannot end automatically. The end begins with the beginning, such as movements like Black Lives Matter and the union movement, who have a responsibility to help forge a solution, to help solve the problem. And in that vein, we have a solution. We believe that if the state authorized and the mayor implemented an early retirement incentive program or a retirement incentive program, it will stop the layoffs. The mayor wants to borrow money. And we're not opposed to him borrowing money and getting authorization to do so as long as it's used to mitigate and stop layoffs. There are people talking about we should pay premiums to stop layoffs, and that's on the table. Well, it's not on my table. We've given so that we don't have to pay premiums. And we're not going to start now. There are people who are saying we ought to deal with all reserves first. Well, we're against that too. Because some of those reserves are meant to ensure that retirees who have worked their years and who are now trying to enjoy their pensions may be at risk or having their pensions reduced, not directly, but any reduction of benefits is a reduction in your pension. So as we get ready for this fight, I just want you to have the facts as we know and your ideas. But this is not a one-man show or one-woman show or one union show. This is all about. We cannot let working people once again bear the brunt of the economic problems of the city, no matter how it's caused. We all know that the pandemic and the closing of New York City had a devastating effect on the revenue that the city collects. We're not unsympathetic, but we're not prepared to solve the problems on the backs of working men and women, particularly when we believe we have a viable solution. So I'm not going to tell you not to be angry. And I'm not going to tell you not to be afraid. What I'm going to tell you to do is take that and turn that into energy. Turn that into controlled anger so that it's directed where we can do the most good. Participate. If you do demonstrations or letter writing, or whatever methods we come up with to get our message across, our voices will be heard. We have time to stop this madness. We need all your help. So as over the next couple of weeks, things are going to be happening both on the state and the city level. Obviously on the national level, the next 2 months is vital to make sure that we are all registered to vote, not just in this city, but all our friends and relatives across the country. And it cannot be said enough how important it is for you to complete the census. It decides how much federal money comes into the city. It decides our representation. And for many of us in city service, it helps decide whether we get paid or not. It's a lot. These are unprecedented times. We've never seen this before. But guess what? If we continue to fight together, strive together, don't turn on each other, but support each other, we will get through this. God bless you, and God bless you.
Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. The Mighty Union. Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. The Mighty Union. Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. The Mighty Union.